Don't ask me just like a solid brick wall. I keep it confidential. Yeah.
Bitch, I'm the shit. Ooh, she wet, I hit a lick. Oochie Wally, ooh, she probably tryna sit up on this. Oh shit, fuck out my face. Bitch, I'm the greatest, but nigga, you late. You missed your period. Say shit like period. Pull like you in and you out, and I'm busy be grinding your honey. I feel good. Jameson Brown, no chase or no rocks. We never listen chill.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is 10-4 for show. My name is Dre.
My name Corty. What's going on?
What's happening, Corty?
You know what I'm saying? You just live your life, really. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to.
You should live your life.
Just trying to chillax and relax and enjoy the show, while I'm, getting this money.
You got to get this money. You got to do your thing. You got to grow.
Sir.
I've been preaching that in my previous recent rhymes, not the one you just heard.
Oh, you got another song coming? Okay.
I got a couple songs coming.
Yes,
you did what I'm
sir.
saying?
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I'm trying to preach a little bit of growth in yourself, spiritually, mentally,
Right.
emotionally,
Right.
all of that.
Spit that for real.
Monetarily. So,
Yeah. Let's
what
get
do we
into
got
it.
going on today?
Well, today we're going to talk about the Jacob Blake situation. We're going to talk about the Kyle Rittenhouse. I think that's how you say
I
it.
think that's his name.
Situation. So
And Chadwick Boseman.
yeah. Oh yeah. Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace, man.
Man.
Black Panther.
Like yesterday.
Bro. And I seen it last night, and it was like, I was about to say, hey, babe, check this out. But she was falling asleep, so I didn't want to bother her with it. But it was just like, damn, bro. You can't name not one movie he did bad in, bro. You know what I'm saying?
No, not at all.
Bro,
Every
he
movie
was-
that I've seen him in was a good movie. He played in, I don't know what the movie was called, unless it was called Marshall.
Right.
He played Thurgood Marshall.
Right.
42, I think, was the first thing I've seen him in, though.
Right.
I don't know if that's true or not. I'm sure he was in other stuff because nobody ever is just like, their first movie is a big blockbuster type thing.
Right.
Message to the King or something, that's on Netflix.
Oh yeah, that was bro.
Yeah.
When his sister or somebody got like kidnapped and killed
Yeah,
or something
he was
like that.
actually from Africa,
Bro.
too, and
That jump was raw, bro.
yeah. Get On Up, when he played James Brown.
Oh yeah, Courtney was telling me about that.
I watched that
Yeah.
like 2 weeks ago.
That
And obviously Black Panther. Everybody been saying
bro.
the Black Panther passed away. Like that's how they been.
Because that's
That's
how
a cool
I feel.
legacy. Because
Yeah.
that's a dope movie and that's something that Black people needed.
Right.
I feel like a Black superhero, even though it's been created a long time. I think we need a superhero or action figure. That's what I said in the song too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, I got them lyrics. I got them balls. But that ain't what we talking about right now.
Anyways,
but
yeah, rest in peace. And
yeah, rest in peace. Rest in paradise.
Next up
Prayers
is
to the family.
Yes, sir. Next up is Jacob Blake. We're gonna insert the clip so y'all can understand and see kind of what the media has presented and brought forth in regards to the video itself. We'll insert it. So when it comes down to it, I feel like the situation itself could have been resolved in so many different ways, different aspects, and the way you know what I'm saying, even carry yourself. As an African-American male, let's speak on that side first. As an African-American male,
Right.
you kind of see they got their guns out, their guns drawn. You need to kind of comply because you don't know what they got on their mind, what's the agenda. You kind of know what their agenda is, but...
And they don't, obviously, from our previous experience,
Right.
they don't value our lives.
as much.
So you got to value yours more than they do theirs, or
Right.
more than they do yours. You know
Now,
what I mean?
looking at the other side from a officer standpoint, bro, y'all got to understand that y'all are people just like the people that y'all gunning down, just like they could have handled the situation a little bit better because I feel like they didn't necessarily have to
Use deadly force.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Immediately,
When there was
bro.
no threat.
And some people might argue and say, oh, when they was walking around to the car, he was probably going for a gun. No,
You don't know that.
bro, he was too calm.
He could have been subdued prior to him getting to the car.
Right.
We was looking through videos and I had just saw a video. This dude was standing in the middle of nowhere, like middle of the street, hands behind his head. The first thing the cop do is kick him in the back.
Right.
On every movie, TV show, cops, bad boys, what you gonna do? I seen they put a handcuff right here, handcuff right. Well, bring your hand down. It never happened to me like that, but
One at a time.
you know what I'm saying. That's
the respectful way to do it. That's the
handcuff.
safest
Why
way
are
to
you
do it.
kicking him? this is like I surrender. That's what the fuck that mean. Like, but as far as different options that the officers had, I haven't studied criminology and I've never been in a like police officer training course, but I'm positive that they're trained.
You know what's right and you know what's wrong.
That's the first thing. That's the first
as
moral,
a person,
as a human being. You know what's right and wrong. You're taught that. It's almost instinctual at the same time.
Right.
But they're also trained on how to subdue and take people down in multiple ways in a non-lethal fashion.
Right.
And the first course of action they took was a deadly force.
Right. And
which could have killed him even though he didn't. God had mercy on him.
Another point is how people always like defund the police, defund the police. I actually think they need to fund the police in a different area in regards to how to handle certain situations. You need to fund the police and make them take a certain class to be like, okay, if you in this situation, what would you do? How would you solve it?
Yeah. Kind of like psychological courses. And I think they do have some level of that. I'm not exactly sure of the extent, but
I just feel like that whole situation is kind of like it's like bro, like what the world, bro? Like, and then I was asking my coworker, I was like, he had put his input in, and I was like, well, do you think this would have happened if it was a Caucasian male? And he was like, honestly, I can't say it wouldn't or it would have, but as you know, he was like, as you know, it's only kind of more prone for African American males because we already have this stigma of the police and how we feel towards them about certain situations. So don't give them that anger and that rage. The opportunity to even do that to you. He made a point. He was like, well, being that they already had their guns out, you know the difference between a gun and a taser. You're not crazy. So being that they already had their guns out, they probably, as they walked around the car, was saying, hey, if you don't stop, we're going to shoot.
We're going to shoot you, potentially.
So we don't, because we only seen the video from a certain angle, certain
we couldn't
distance.
really hear it either.
Right.
Either way, their gun shouldn't have been the first thing they drawn if he was posing no lethal threat.
And that's my problem with it, because I said, I understand what you're saying, like, bro, but at the end of the day, they could have put out the taser. They could have put out the baton. You said that. They could have put
all three of them tackled him at the same time.
They could have beat him and made him look like trash before shooting him. Before shooting him, before using deadly force.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at with it. I don't care who you is. Like, if I go out there and I'm not agreeing with what you're saying, you got the right to shoot me and then get on administrative leave and come back in a month or two.
If they even get leave.
Bro.
Some of them get promotions.
That's going to be having me going. Yeah. Then, another thing how I feel about it is, how can, if you are so, people get so upset when black people bring up police brutality and stuff.
Yeah.
But how can I feel safe if technically my complexion or my type of demographic has a higher risk of dying from the police?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's seen as a threat. It's seen as a weapon. Your melanin is seen as a weapon.
Skin color, it's a weapon. And I don't know why they feel so.
It's backwards. You would think the people that you're supposed to call to come protect you are the ones that end up killing you. I've seen a few different scenarios in the news and just on the media where somebody would call the police and either get arrested because of their skin color, is what it seemed like at least, or get killed, or just been in the wrong place where somebody else called the police and it turned out bad.
Just to add on to that, I don't like the way the media portrays certain things, certain aspects in regards to what stories to post or what stories to share, because looking at that as an African American male, I feel some type of way.
Yeah.
They know, the media knows they're going to get that reaction from African Americans.
Yeah.
Regardless. With that being said, if it was a Caucasian male, do you think that story would be as big? Yes or no?
No, it wouldn't have been as big, and it would have played out totally differently. Similar to the Kyle Rittenhouse situation.
Right. Let's get into that.
Where he shot, I think, 2 or 3 people.
Prior to the video being recorded.
Yeah.
I think he shot one person, and then I was like, wait, he just shot a guy.
He shot somebody, and some protesters started kind of fighting back and trying to defend everyone else.
Right.
And he shot somebody in the arm and somebody in the stomach, and then the police was pulling up. He was just walking past all of the police trucks.
And what they said is, step back.
Big ass gun. That motherfucker.
Bro, that was an AR-15, bro. I don't care what nobody said, but
that had a big ass gun.
He did get charged, but the thing
eventually,
The thing about the injustice system that I also don't like is the different. It's not a white versus black thing. It's more so like the injustice side of things. How is it that a black male can get gunned down and the police officers take weeks to get, you know what I'm saying, kind of like apprehended in a sense?
Yeah.
Then you could say a black male do something just like that, and he already in jail or on death row type
Nigga
thing.
probably ain't even do shit. Nigga got 20 years in prison.
That's what I'm saying. So the injustice system.
My bad. I ain't
go ahead. Go ahead.
I just, the times where you hear about somebody was wrongfully accused and in prison for 20 years, most of the time I seen that happen, it was a black person. Right. They don't make the mistakes on other colors or races that I've seen, or maybe at least, like you said, it hasn't been publicized.
And the reason why I don't get publicized is because the media knows what gets the world riled up just so they can have another story after this one.
And they want to paint a certain picture of what our melanin should portray. Right. Most of the time when you see or back in the day a lot more, but even still now when you see a black person, well, first thing I'm going to say is just media and TV and movies, most of them don't have any black people in it. Like, you can go on Netflix and scroll for days before you see a movie with one black person in it. And then to find a movie full of black people, like that's a lot. That's just one thing. But it's crazy.
Right. So with that being said, back to the dude, what's his name? Kyle?
I think Kyle Rittenhouse is what they said. He's 17 and he legally can't even have a gun in his possession.
Bro.
That's the first thing.
Anyways, well, actually you could be 18, but I doubt if he had a full blown assault rifle license. Like,
right. But he's 17 though.
Bro, you shouldn't even be walking down the street. Why are you out there shooting at people? Even if they, I don't know, if you agree or not, you know what I'm saying? It's just the fact of the matter is you shot somebody and now you think you still can just walk down the street like nothing happened.
And nothing happened to dude. And the other dude, Jacob, he was walking to his car. Of course, they may have had an altercation prior to, and like you said, he could have handled his situation differently. Like he was kind of trying to be bold and Superman. And I know when I think about myself in a situation, like I ain't no bitch.
And that's the first thing that snap on in your head. Like, bro, you, even though you the police, you're not finna run over me and you're not finna just treat me like trash. Right. But that's the mindset of an African-American male.
You still got to have those survival instincts as well. Like, if you see they already either first got their hand on their gun, that means they already threatening and fear. Or they already have those intentions to use deadly force regardless of how things escalate. Right. So if you already see that from jump, you should follow suit and use your mind to know, all right, let me chill out. Right. Let me take my time. Don't make no sudden movements.
I got the kids in the car. Let me think about them too. Because
that's even worse. Because they could have all started just spraying at the car because they obviously didn't give a fuck.
They didn't.
You know what I'm saying? They could have hit the children. Like, you got to think about everybody else that's around you as well and how everybody else is going to be affected. I'm not saying he was in the wrong at all.
Right, yeah, no.
That's not what I'm saying.
Let's clear that up right now.
He did. I didn't say he did anything wrong.
This is what I'm
to at least be shot though.
Right.
Maybe to get some handcuffs.
To put a whole conceptual idea together, you do have to look at both sides. Yeah. But at the end of the day, what the police officers were doing, hey, no, bro. No. Nah. I don't care. I don't care if he really took off running. He still shouldn't have got shot, bro.
Yeah. I don't see anything that he did that warranted deadly force at all. Like he said, a taser would have been fine. Three officers could have tackled him. Like I said, officers, I think they're trained for like hand-to-hand type combat and subduing a suspect or whatever you want to say. They have multiple tools for non-lethal force in order to take somebody down. And when that altercation started, if they felt threatened, they should have at least put him in handcuffs.
The second version of that video also, like we said, seen them. It looked like they was in a scuffle, and he got up
and walked
away. So you telling me he wasn't fighting back? He was just walking away, and then you telling me his back turned to y'all. Y'all couldn't just tackle him as he went around the car
or tripped him?
Nah, bro, miss me with it. Nah, you shot the man 7 times.
That's unacceptable.
And I don't even know if they've been charged yet.
Yeah, I haven't heard about that.
That's my problem with it. And that administrative leave, I don't like that because what does that say? Oh, it's so as an officer, it's okay for me to shoot somebody.
I think most of the time it's with pay type thing.
So it's okay as an officer, it's okay for me to shoot somebody, and I just have to deal with the consequences of everybody in the world hating me. But I'm not gonna get I'm not gonna get it. It's what is it called? I'm not gonna get arrested and dealt with in regards to having time served or whatever. I'm just gonna be on administrative leave until it all blows over. Yeah. Come on, bro. No.
I'm gonna just be at the house chilling for a little bit till this shit done.
That's same way with the Breonna Taylor situation.
I was about to bring her up,
bro.
I don't. They apparently they had a warrant to search the house.
It don't matter, bro.
No, yeah. I was just kind of explaining the situation. Everybody already knows the situation.
I'm thinking about
it. Don't matter.
I'm talking about them walking in and just shooting up the shit.
Like, yeah, they walking in shooting. I think. Yeah. I saw like different news reports or just articles online or whatever, like where they started busting down the door and the boyfriend shot a fire, so they started shooting in. And I saw something else where they bust in and then started shooting before.
I'm telling you right now, a nigga go kicking the door in. No, bro, you getting shot, bro.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if they said that they made a warning announcement first, like police.
It was a no knock, whatever. And now that particular area, I forgot where it was at, but they now you have to knock and let people know. You have to let them know. You have to notify them that you're at the door.
Why would you do it in the middle of the night? Wasn't it like midnight or 2 in the morning or something like that?
It was something.
It was at night.
Regardless, it was at night, and they didn't have to. It was kind of, bruh. That junk got me heated, bruh.
Yeah, that junk crazy. And I don't know. They haven't been prosecuted at all. They haven't went to trial.
Prosecuted, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. And kind of back to what we were saying earlier.
Right.
It kind of paints a picture of the relationship between people with melanin in their skin, black people, Afro-American, however you want to put it, and the justice system or the authorities that's around us. And then just kind of thinking about it, the police are supposed to be put in place to make us feel secure and comfortable and safe. Something happening, they supposed to handle the situation. But like I said, most of the time when they get called, the black are wrongfully accused or could be in the wrong place at the wrong time and are always seen as the suspect.
Right.
And it kind of seemed like, I don't know.
The real question is, why is that? Why is that African Americans are more so viewed in regards to being the accused, person of interest, and not more so the victim?
I think it's because of how they train people's minds. Mm-hmm. And that's what I was going to get to say earlier about, like, when you watch a movie or a TV show and you see a black person, 8 times out of 10, that person is the criminal or the bad guy or the stupid person or someone without education,
right?
Or someone that's threatening. They never really have a big role if it's a big blockbuster movie, like other than Black Panther or something like that. But that they putting him there for money, like, you know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother thing, though. We're not even talking about that. But I think it's because of how they portrayed that in the media, like to the day, and how people raise their children as well. I don't think, I'm gonna just be blunt with it, I don't think white people or certain white people who have that racist mentality see black people as human. So when they raise their children the same way
they were raised,
and they raise their children the same way, and they got generations down the line, they believe that they living with animals. So and then add that to how the media portrays us, that already makes them first hate, fear, and feel threatened when they see somebody of color, especially when they in their neighborhood.
Right.
I saw a video the other day. This dude, in the video when you watch it, you can't tell if it's the dude is in front of his house or not.
Right.
But the police pull up and say, "Hey, can I see your license?" The dude walking around his house.
Right.
And I guess he was on the side of his house too long, and the officers pulled up and said, and it's a big ass house too. It's a nice house.
He had dreads.
Nah, they ain't really showed him because he was recording, but he showed himself at the end. He's like, "Man, they think this ain't my house. I got a nice house, man. This is my nice house, and they think this ain't my house, and they tax for my license. Man, I ain't giving y'all shit." Now, again, they don't let you know or indicate that it's his house or not in the video, but you don't pull up to somebody's house and ask for their license.
So, what Courtney would say is, just give them your license so you can just end it. Just end it. And then what I would say is, like, once again, as that, alpha male, that inner instinct of, nah, bro, you ain't finna just come over here and tell me what. You're right. So it's just like, as a man, that's our mindset. But when you really think about the situation, If he would have just said, "Oh, here you go, officer. My name and address is right here,"
Yeah.
it would have been done with. So another coworker once said, instead of having that negative thought towards police, just kind of be respectful. Just kind of even if they come at you sideways, just try not to escalate the situation more than what it already is.
Yeah.
Just be, I guess, coherent and reasonable.
Cordial.
Yeah, and just try to make it as smooth as possible, because at the end of the day, they kind of got the upper hand, unfortunately.
Yeah.
In any situation.
So yeah, what you were saying, it kind of like sparked the idea. But you were saying, like, as a man, like, I'm not finna let no other man bitch me. But also as a man, on the other side of your brain, or it should be all mixed and melded in at the same time. But you gotta, like we were saying earlier, respect and think about the people around you as well. Like, you can't be out here acting an ass if other people can be, become victim to your actions based on how you treating the police. Like you said, you got kids in the back seat, or if the dude at the house, he got children in the house and they tried to take him down, or he tried to run in the house and they start firing. Like, somebody else could be, victim to your actions.
Right.
So you got to be mindful of that, and that should be the first instinct is, okay, how am I going to survive this and make sure everybody around me is surviving as well?
You just sparked something in my mind. Back to the Breonna Taylor situation.
Yeah.
No knock warrant, correct?
Yeah.
So you don't know who in this house.
Right.
What if a little kid was sitting on the front porch and y'all already gun blazing shooting?
Yeah.
Front porch, in the front room, couch, whatever. However it was designed, the apartment, however it was designed. What if somebody else that was younger that had nothing to do with the situation was involved? I.e. Breonna Taylor, i.e. her boyfriend, whatever. Y'all looking for somebody, according to what I seen.
They were just looking for drugs.
Whatever they was looking for.
Yeah.
Y'all coming in.
That they didn't find.
At all. That's the crazy part. But nobody want to talk about that. They want to talk about, oh, well, they were suspected drug dealers. They was this, that. No.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Don't do that. At the end of the day, they shouldn't have been shot. They shouldn't have been shot at. Y'all should have first off knocked and said, "Hey, open up. This the police." Come on, bro.
They felt like they didn't have to because they had the warrant.
It's not right. It's not right.
I saw this other post the other day where it said ex-con saves 2 people from getting hit by a car or burning building or something like that. And then it was a post under that, somebody like reposted or something and said, man, imagine just saving somebody's life and the first thing that they title you as ex-con.
Right.
Like,
they could have just said male saved his life, or random guy saves random life, or something like that, versus ex-con. I'm telling you, bro, it got something to do with the media. It's the attention grabber. It's the clickbait. It's what sells. It's all that.
It's the clickbait as well, and it's what sells also. But it's also to continue to grow and build the stigma of
a certain image.
The black image is criminals. Like, you was searching for the Kyle Rittenhouse dude on Google,
right, in the black.
Wisconsin shooting. The first person you see is a black mugshot.
And let me tell you why. That black dude. Let me break this down. That black dude shot a little kid, a 4-year-old kid, right?
Okay.
So that was a situation itself. We're going to be open, straight up with it.
Yeah.
I don't know why he shot the little boy, but justice was served because the dude got arrested that day. Or if it wasn't that day, it was or a couple hours after the situation happened. Regardless, he got dealt with. I'm talking about like that. If a white dude would have shot a little black boy, I told my coworker, different coworker, I was like, if a white dude would have shot a little black boy, that story would have got blown up, for one, yes. And on top of that, the white dude would have not been convicted just like that. It would have been I
don't think the story would have been blown up.
It wouldn't have been blown up.
I think only the other way around.
No.
Blow it up.
Which one? Which way?
I think if a black person shoot a white person, no matter like whatever, that's gonna blow up. If a white person shoot a black person, it's only gonna blow up because black people blow it up. The media not gonna blow it up. Maybe black people in the media or the news, like I think Don Lemon or something, Lamone or whatever that nigga name is. I don't even know.
I disagree.
He talks about. I've seen him talk about. I don't watch him. I just seen like a few clips like of him talking about like
that's
racial.
CNN dude, ain't it?
I don't know that nigga. I just seen the nigga one time or twice.
Y'all just dropping by. I just seen him on the
I
screen.
was just scrolling and he popped up and he was talking about like how he don't mess with Trump. I'm like, okay, he could express his views like certain.
Right.
I don't know what kind of news that is. Certain newscasters can express their views and opinions on like politics and just anything like racism and stuff. But the news that they broadcast to everybody regularly, they gotta put what they want us to see.
So I think in regards to the black guy shooting a little white boy, I think that story didn't get blowed up as much for the African American community because we already know right from wrong. Yeah, like we like that ain't right. I ain't finna just keep sharing this story because that ain't nothing that I want to see. But then what the argument is,
and justice, that like you said, he was already convicted.
Right,
like
he was already convicted. He already dealt with. The justice system had done played this role, and it was no point on keep dwelling on the same story that has already been dealt with. Now, with that being said, if it was a white dude that shot a black little boy, the reason why it would have got reposted because the emotions from African American people would have just went to spinning. They would have look at this, they done killed somebody like,
and he didn't get arrested yet.
Right, and I think that's what it would have came down to. Okay, if justice was served, like white dude kill black dude, justice served. That story will get big, but it won't get as big because it's already been dealt with. In reality, it would have took probably longer for the Caucasian dude to get convicted, honestly. But that's neither here nor there because it's the other way around. So,
like if the people who killed Breonna Taylor would have already been convicted, we might not have even brought her up because it happened already. Because
there would be no Instagram, Facebook, Twitter post saying, arrest Breonna Taylor killers. Like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So if justice was served, everything just be flat out, okay, that situation happened, dealt with, boom. This situation happened, dealt with, boom. It's easier to move forward, not from the situation, no, but it's in regards to the media and publicizing it and keep, making it such a big, story. If it's dealt with, it's dealt with. You can just leave it. Anyway.
So I was gonna ask, but I'm like answering it now. How do you make things change?
In regards to what?
Like the relationship between black people and the police.
So for me, I think the police and African Americans honestly need to have I don't want to say come together because that's gonna be kind of weird, but honestly, they need to have a sit down. Understand how African American males and females feel towards the police and how we truly feel. Okay, now also understand that we are all people. Also understand that we are no better than a Caucasian, a Asian, a white, Puerto Rican, whatever. We are all people. So at the end of the day, the fact that we are more of a target for you, it kind of hurt our feelings a little bit. So we already got our guard up. We already got this aggression. We already got this anger. We already got this. But yeah, so I feel like, you know what I'm saying, I think the sit down need to happen to the point where we can just understand one another and how we really feel towards a certain, occasion, a certain, it's really hard to say because
no, it is.
It's easier said than done. That's my problem with the words that I'm trying to find and create to make it sound good. But at the end of the day, I think officers and African Americans have to understand the other side. So sitting down, talking about it, understanding how to make this better. Us talking about it's always our fault because we aggressive and we already upset about the situation, or officers already on edge because they done been brainwashed with videos of people just shooting at them randomly. We doing it to ourselves. So somebody said, hey, we all believe in the same God, or we believe in what we believe in. At the end of the day, we are all people and we are all equal. We should all be treated equal. Exactly. Money shouldn't define, who you are as a person. The way you speak shouldn't define who you are as a person. The way you was raised shouldn't define you as a person. Right versus wrong. Wrong versus right. Either way it go. That's what I think. So it's kind of like I answered the question, but I didn't because, like I said, it's easier than said than done. I don't know. How would you think this could be solved?
What I was gonna say, and I was thinking about how people would respond to it. I was gonna say that I think if more black people were in politics or in the
my
police
sister said
force,
that, and Caleb said that.
yeah,
But let me tell you about that. I'm sorry, because we done had this conversation.
yeah,
If black people get into politics, they start to see what the world is for what it is at the end of the day. And it's what does the world revolve around?
money.
My point exactly. So who got the bigger pockets right now? And who will always have the bigger pockets? Who has the bigger population right now? My point exactly. You ain't got to answer that. The thing about getting into politics, the thing about becoming lawyers, the thing about getting to the position to make laws, is if you still have to go through certain channels and certain people for that even to happen. I could have went to law school to change certain laws based upon certain things that I experienced growing up. But at the end of the day, I can get in there, I can swivel my way through, I can set a law, but who's to say the person that's right behind me coming in don't want to change that law back?
Right.
What I did it for. Or I just did it to change the law for that time being, or did I do it to really change something?
Yeah, that's just, but it would be more of a group effort, like a collective of like-minded people that's for the rights of all people, not just black people, but the idea of Black Lives Matter, meaning, you know, but until we get what we have, then we are all that we need to work for. Right. That's what I see it as. But I was also gonna say, instead of, I heard some, I think it was Umar Johnson. I think that's his name. I think he was saying that we would be better off segregated because we would have our own facilities, we would have our own money, we would have our own police. Yeah. And I seen comedians talk about that shit. Like, but why would white police who live in Ponte Vedra police Moncrief? Like, just, I don't know if that happens, but that doesn't make sense. Right. And I've seen a few comedians make that same approach. Like, oh, well, if you got somebody who grew up in the neighborhood, police in the neighborhood, then they know Lil Jimmy gonna kick them trash cans over, and he ain't really steal that shit. Like, he gonna pay it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they kind of understand the dynamics, and that'll remove the fear and the threat that they feel when they enter a situation.
So you saying somebody that's a kind of like accommodated with the area already? Like, if I'm a police officer and I grew up on the north side, put me on the north side because I know how to handle
at least to start, or like to kind of help resolve issues, or just be over that area. I don't know. Yeah, because I know what it's like growing up around people that's in the hood or been in the hood or trap houses or whatever you want to call it. And then if I go to Ponte Vedra, I can adapt, and I'm like, oh wait, this is not a meth house. This is a big ass house. Yeah. So it's kind of like, wait a minute. I never seen that side of things, but I know what a trap house look like. I know what he finna go make a pop real quick. Like, I know what that look like, you know what I'm saying? But being that I'm growing up, you know what I'm saying, in this type of environment, I can relate more to that side. And I understand. I feel like people should, but who want to be a police officer either from African Americans, being the way that police officers are viewed currently? Okay. I don't think many people would want to be a police officer. If they pay good, I'd do the shit. But now just play.
But that's what I'm saying. So when you talk about getting into more black people should get in politics, law enforcement, or just, you know, changing laws, you really have to think about it. Is that what black people are passionate about? Why is it that we are not passionate about laws and getting the rights for what we believe in?
There are people that are passionate about it,
but not a lot.
It's not enough. Some people are complacent, or I guess they just live in the box, but they're not really trying to change what they living in, or they just accept their surroundings. I think that's a not dangerous person. It's dangerous for a person that thinks that way to be okay with things that's going around you. Like, yeah, don't waste your energy on things you can't change. Right. But you got to understand what power that you have inside you, and power that you can make things move, and what you can change. Like,
I got an answer for you in regards to change. Yeah. The only way to change the world is to change the mindsets of the youth, the people that you raise, the people that are growing up now. That's what I was. Because at the end of the day, right now, you ain't finna change people that's here now. Like, I can't change your mind about Donald Trump being the best president in the world. You know what I'm saying? That ain't gonna happen. Look at you. Anyways, that ain't gonna happen. So it's like,
we know who he's voting for.
Come on, man. I'm just trying to put it into perspective. No, but anyway. No, man, I ain't voting for Donald Trump. Anyways, I think for real, I think we need to kind of
get your man.
Anyways, I think we need to kind of get locked in regards to the youth. Let them understand. But then it's hard because if you let them understand where they came from to what it is now, or what we came from to what it is now, they may still build this mindset and a stigma about how they really feel. Mom, what is BLM? Mom, why was it so many riots back then and this, that, and other? And then guess what? Then they pops get shot by the police.
Yeah.
How can you change that stigma? Well, my dad actually died from police brutality. How you gonna tell me not to feel some type of way about this situation? That person and that hurt inside of them is already gonna showcase that to another person or another person they come in contact with, regardless.
Children, yeah.
So it's really hard to be like, oh yeah, that's a solution, but it's not. But that's what I feel like the solution is. It is the youth, but at the end of the day, it's kind of hard because the youth has already been, drown it with the media, drown it with being affected by it, drown it with personally, being involved. I'm a little kid playing with a toy gun and a police officer got their gun at me. I'm like, wait a minute, I was just playing outside. That's what it's a revolving door that's gonna keep spinning, and that's why I feel like the world can change, but it can't.
Yeah, because
I'm stressed out.
I see.
Let me get some of this pow.
If you think about it though, like what we're suggesting is having, the people who want change to.
Well, that shit hit different.
I was gonna say, well, you straight, boy. That's what happened to them Trump supporters, boy.
Man, come on, ain't nobody supporting Trump.
But nah, like the same people that's trying to make change and put it and instill it into their children in the next generation. There's a whole nother side of people that's trying to make their type of change and keep things the same and keep implanting that idea of hating to their children as well. So like you said, it's a revolving door, and it's always going to be two sides to it or more. This
is how it can change.
Yeah.
If you preach to your child how you want them to be raised and how you want them to grow up, then just, embed that mindset upon them. Don't try to make it so much of let me say it to him, let me say it to you, don't try to spread it. Just start right here. And then that way they can start right there. They can start right there. Just like you said, a generational type of thing.
I think we could only think that way because we're not parents. Like fully. I mean,
I'm kind of in it, but he sits. But
like, I would think that most parents try to instill certain things into their children, and
that go back to
some
the school
children.
System, bro.
Some children rebel. Some children children are people, and they have their own minds and make their own mind about certain things. So it contradicts with what I was saying, but there are things you can instill, and sometimes
you can't change it, and
you can't change.
You can't change it. Now I'm thinking, I got
every person.
I done contradicted myself. You can't change it, bro.
And I don't think we can change the United States or the world as a whole with, a few groups of people. It'll have to be a general consistency. There'll have to be restrictions set and laws put in place to make change happen, to enforce the change. But you can't stop. Like,
I think just the whole aspect of trying to change the bigger picture. You can change a little bit at a time, and that's why I feel like talking to your child or whatever at a certain age, you got to let them know. But like you said, they're human. They're gonna choose what they're gonna feel how they want to feel, regardless.
I think a good approach is what's kind of happening now, where Black Lives Matter is a more prominent movement at the moment. Right. I think George Floyd is kind of what got it kick-started. It's already been started and it's already going, but I started seeing more about it after that.
Right.
And then when you start getting companies and businesses endorsing Black Lives Matter, like you go on a certain company website and it says, of course they'll mention coronavirus, and then they'll say we're standing behind and supporting Black Lives Matter.
Now, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
As if I was a Caucasian little kid and I say, Mom, what is Black Lives Matter and why white lives don't matter? What would be their response? Because then now they're gonna build a certain type of, honey, Black Lives Matter is blah 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 blah, depending on how they see it.
If they understand what Black Lives Matter mean,
because a lot of people don't.
Because a black, they don't. Because
a lot of Caucasians don't.
The reason people say all lives matter is because they don't understand why people say Black Lives Matter, and that's what I explained earlier. black people aren't traditionally treated humane. That's one thing.
Then if you explain that to a white kid, they're gonna be like, well, why aren't black people treated humane? Why aren't black people treated this certain way?
Yeah.
Oh well, honey. Being on the south side of Chicago, you are a bit more suspected to crime and drugs and low poverty and blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. The negative stigma behind it, and that's only if you're gonna do it the right way as a Caucasian parent. You feel me? A white parent, like I can't expect all white people to feel or represent Black Lives Matter to the same extent as somebody throwing their fists up. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to explain Black Lives Matter how they see it to their child, regardless.
I think it's some people that understand it, but I know
I
what
do
you're
agree.
saying.
No, I do. No, all white people. Let's throw this out. All white people do not feel the same way. You do have some white people who, actually respect this, that, and that. You got 50-50. Yeah, down for the cause, whatever. Then you got some white people who like, I ain't really messing with that. I don't really like that. Then you got some people that's like, I understand where they're coming from, but my life matter too. Like, at the end of the day,
the idea of Black Lives Matter doesn't mean other lives don't matter.
Right.
It means that for me as a black person, my life has to have a certain amount of value before I can support anything else. That's just kind of how I see it. But that doesn't mean I don't support other lives as well.
Right.
But I need what's mine in order to move forward, in order to live my life, and in order to feel value and humane. You dig what I'm saying?
So yeah, go back to equality kind of too.
That's exactly what it is. I post a lot of stuff like on my story on Instagram when I see it, and that's why I kept saying humane. This dude was saying that we've been asking to be treated humane,
right?
And that it's a contradiction saying that we're free and saying that all people are created equal, but not showing that and not treating people that way.
And then you have to look at how America was founded, and that goes back to, it wasn't founded to make all men equal. It was founded to make a certain man equal. You know what I'm saying?
And to make them wealthy, yeah.
Right. So that's why the racism, the slavery, the all the history behind why it is today is always brought up and always explained a certain way, is because at the end of the day, this is what it was founded on, regardless.
I think that's why see, we didn't even get on that because you asked earlier, why are we portrayed a certain way, or what kind of revenues or avenues contribute to that. And even in school, from elementary school to high school and college, when you take a history class, they'll teach you all about Eastern, Western, European history.
Civilization.
The beginning of America. What you kind of need to understand. Also, and they really, only thing they focus on black people is that they were slaves and when they were freed, which...
And still don't go into depth too much about that because they don't want you to feel some type of way as you're in class talking about it. So they kind of sugarcoat it because, as you know, the world has become so sensitive as well. Blacks and whites and brown and blue, everybody just became so sensitive. So now you really have to watch what you say, when you say it, how you say it, and you got to make sure you portray it in a certain way so nobody can be offended, which is kind of unfortunate because now you're not being, you know what I'm saying, real. You're being counterfeit in regards to how you feel and what you feel. And bro,
it's a lot going on. This is like a 3-part podcast, and we need some other people's views on it.
We do.
We can definitely, but it's crazy that why do I need to learn about Eastern European history? How has that impacted my life?
Right.
I need to learn about more of where I come from, and I guess you could say it wouldn't be fair to teach African history as a required course,
right?
But it's not fair for them to teach me European history at all. That don't
and Chinese history.
That's right. Well,
no, because they put Chinese history in that too.
And they put a few, in like world history, but world history, even true. In world history class, I don't even remember talking about Africa. I'm sure they got a section in the book, but I've taken like a few world history classes. I don't remember Africa.
You never went through the whole book, by the way. You only did certain chapters.
You only do you do the white chapters.
I'm telling you, bro. Go down to the
that goes back to the segregation that I think Umar Johnson he stands behind. And I'm not saying that I stand behind and that's what I want to do, but I wouldn't want people around me to be exposed to the wrong things. So I would want my children to go to the right school where they're taught. Well, I guess that's my job, but where they're taught, where they're from, and not trying to teach them all this extra bullshit and filler. I call it filler because they just wasting your time learning. Just well, now I'm talking about school system in general, teaching you trigonometry.
School system,
bitch, I want to be a photographer. Like, why am I required to take this course? Or like I said, teaching us European history, unless you're trying to be a historian or.
So I follow Dr. Umar Johnson, and one thing I didn't like, he said the other day, he was on Instagram Live, and he was like, "What we need to do is we need to boycott and not vote." And I was like, well, if we don't vote, they're gonna vote for who they want to vote for anyways.
Yeah.
And it was like, what?
Sound crazy.
And I was like, thinking about. There was a time when African Americans could not vote at all.
Right.
I know this is getting off topic a little bit, but it was like couldn't vote at all. So how is it you saying creating a desegregation, creating not voting, going to impact them? Oh, they're gonna fill the draft. They're gonna fill the draft from what? African Americans not voting? No, they still gonna put their laws. They still gonna put people in the office who they want to put in there, regardless. So us voting, we need to get out and vote. We need to do this and we need to do that. At a time, we couldn't do it. So
and I don't think segregating would like help either. Because
that's what I'm saying. Why go backwards? We need to move forward and get the ball rolling.
I think owning our own land and owning our own piece,
right,
is the only thing that would kind of help it. But that's another form of segregation as well.
But I want to mention this too about Umar Johnson. I do like some of the stuff he say, but some of the stuff it was kind of like a little shaky. I was like,
yeah,
I was with you on that, but now
he be preaching. I think he got like a white girlfriend or something like that, or I don't think his girlfriend black. Or maybe somebody was just trying to throw some shade and post a picture with him with somebody that was white because he said, "Oh, I'm getting the blackest woman with her natural hair, no European hair." Like that nigga funny, and he put you up on game for some of that stuff. That's why I was talking about in the bonnet shit. Like, you know, they portray beauty a certain way, so that's why they, you know, go get a certain type of hair extension or whatever. Anyway.
With that being said, y'all,
it's a lot.
You live and you learn.
We might have to get back to this.
Yeah. You live and learn. That's all I'm gonna say.
Some motherfuckers don't learn.
They don't. They don't. And you can kind of see America for what it is. And just to close, I'm gonna say it like this: if you see yourself becoming in a situation, fortunate situation, try not to make it escalate more than what it already is. Yeah. Try to really think about the people around you. Try to think about the kids that you're about to raise. Think about your wife, your girlfriend, your significant other, whoever it is. Just think about everybody in your family before you decide to make a certain call. Also, as you know, from the other side of things, make sure you're not finna take nobody's life. Make sure you're not finna, you know, kind of decharacterize somebody because of how they look or where they from or what area you in. Like, just try to be, you know, humans gonna be humans, but just try to have that equality. Just everybody is one. Everybody should be equal. Everybody should be viewed on the same level. Period. What you gotta say?
For sure. You said it all, man. I said a lot for it as well. Yeah. I don't think that one thing will change or one person dying is gonna make it change, or I don't think genocide is gonna make it change, or I don't even think leaving and going to Africa is gonna make it change. Right. I think putting our money in the right place and putting our vote and our minds in the right place will help kind of gravitate toward the right direction.
Most importantly, our mind. So.
Yeah, all of that. And then building up the generation to follow suit as well.
Right.
I think certain laws restricting the actions as far as police brutality and police killing people and getting away with murder. Like some, I wouldn't even know, like some like cities where I'm sure they like pat them on the back after shooting 10 niggas.
Right.
I think putting certain laws in place to restrict them, maybe like what's his name, Dick Gregory, he says something like, well, you need to make sure that they feel it when they kill somebody for no reason, like they need to feel it, like
like the pressure wise, like
the do they hate black people more than they love their family and being able to provide for them. And I don't think kicking a police officer off the force is gonna solve them, like, because they probably already got the certain. So
Okay.
No, I was gonna say, because what if a police officer he probably got the license to own a few different type of guns or whatever, and they get kicked off and they still out there killing niggas and shit. Like, but maybe if you take away some of their rights after, abusing their rights, like it's already kind of inhumane to take away certain rights when people
if you get prosecuted and go to jail and all that, you're gonna have to kind of turn in that firearm, because at the end of the day, now you're a convicted felon. So
yeah, I guess
if they deal with it, then they're a convicted felon. They can't technically own a firearm or carry a firearm, whatever. So that's how that can be dealt with in regards to restrictions.
I guess if things were just made to be fair, like you were saying, if when an officer wrongfully kills shoots anybody, not even just a black person, but they actually feel the lashback, or they actually reap the consequences, it'll stop.
Right.
It'll stop, or it'll slow down at least. But when it's people like that in power that back that type of action and behavior, then that's when you really can't do nothing about it, even when certain laws are put in place, because each state has their own laws that they're governed by as well. But
so for all of my African American people out there, let's try to get into office. Let's try to become lawyers. Let's try to become lawmakers. Let's try to become police officers.
Didn't you just say that's not gonna help?
It's probably not, but it's it's a way, bro. It's a start.
It's like a certain stream in order to get to the destination.
I want to say thank you for the police officers that do put their life on the line to protect and serve. But for all y'all other ones who just ready to let one off and got one in the head, ready to let one off.
For the ones that let the other ones kill people and abuse their authority, you in the same boat as well, as how I see it. Right. You are committing the same action if you're not doing something to make it better or stop it.
So to end it on a good note, man, y'all stay strong, y'all stay black, as my dog Big Dog Dre would say.
Stay strong, stay black, all that. You did what I'm saying?
This is 10-4 for show.
10-4 for show.
I am 4T.
Big Dog Dre all day, every day.
And